Well, a bit of a different flavor to the battle today. We're going to actually be playing as the Royal Irish. This is a regiment within the British military that, of course, comes from Ireland itself. And unfortunately, once they actually returned to their home country, they didn't get the welcome that they certainly deserved. These were extraordinarily brave men that did extremely brave things for the benefit of all humanity. And hopefully, we can try to relive their exploits here in this battle. Now, it's pretty straightforward, guys. We are doing a full-on armored assault to try and cross this river and, of course, take the area under our control. We've got a bunch of Valentine tanks. Some of them are quite damaged, but I'm spreading them out here, and this is just going to be a very straightforward attack. We already have our infantry set up. I'm not going to mess with them currently. I'm just simply going to order this massive assault with tanks. Hopefully, any German tanks that we find on our way will immediately melt away once we attack. Now, we do have a lot of infantry here, but I'm not leaving the Xiba area unless I know for sure that we can leave safely and capture points. Certainly, I'd like to have some infantry support as we move these tanks forward, but we can't necessarily afford it. Well, as always, folks, we'll return when the combat begins. Wish these boys some luck. Alright, guys, it looks like we've come across the first enemy defensive positions. We're already engaging them over here from this side of the river, but we need to make sure that these tanks are also engaging them and going straight for the bunker complex. Look at that. They dropped a ton of artillery onto our infantry over here, and they are well dug in. You can see here, these are proper Africa Corps dug in here to the death. We are bombarding them as much as possible here with some artillery, and that's because we put all of these spotters on this side of the river, and they're calling in some pretty effective arty, as well as some mortars that we've got on this side of the river. So let's keep it up, but I'm not going to order an attack. That would be madness. We just want to keep things going, and of course we want to get these tanks across the river. Easier said than done. Let's just take a look at where they have to cross here. They have to try to get across this area right here. Clearly not very simple. I'm going to try to move them over one at a time, but at least we've got this group that is arriving. This desert terrain may seem inviting, but let's be honest, moving across this stuff is not easy. There's just a lot of shrubbery in the way, a lot of, obviously, you know, dips, inclines, minefields. As you can see, we've hit a number of mines. We're extremely lucky that none of these Valentines, or look at this, we have a Panzer III. I know, that's crazy. None of them have actually been damaged by the mines. So we just need to keep things up, but right now it's the infantry that's taking the fight to the enemy. Come on, boys. Here, just see the situation with the tanks. I might have to micromanage these, like I said, and just kind of do one at a time. Oh boy. Huge amount of artillery fire, but the Xiba outpost is still ours. I'm really not too concerned. I just want to make it over here to the bunker so that we can say we took the area. Oh, we are seeing some repairs on our tanks, actually. Damn, and some more mines. Some of the tanks are undergoing repairs here. Just to get them back on the road. We're back in the fight. Send the Panzer forward. Clearly, with all the mines, our men are a little scared to continue. And we even have mines over here, including, look at this, enemy infantry over here. That is definitely unexpected. Looks like even a nice little group here that they've got. Almost a trench. Let's wipe them out. Good shooting, boys. Very good shooting. Of course, that's not going to get us across the river, but let's see if anything else will. In fact, at this point, I am going to move my infantry into the Kaiba west area, Ceasefire West. Just going to put them in a defensive position, so we're pushing all our infantry forward, just because our tanks are taking so long to get here. So come on, Riley. Let's go. Definitely have some incoming fire there. I don't like that. Some of them are getting closer, but of course with all the mines, they have been really slowed down. But you can see most of them are still moving. Most of them are still moving to location. Not really concerned about that. We just need to move to location a lot faster. Let's just go for a standard attack here. Looks like even over here our guys are firing across the river. Probably not a bad idea just to maximize kills here. So I'm going to go ahead and just order them all to look that way. Got plenty of infantry ahead of us. Let's target them. In fact, there could be spotters in that infantry, and they're calling in all of this artillery fire for all I know. Massive group right there. Just looks like a massive anti-tank group, really. So I'm going to target it, try and hit it with anybody we can, and also keep our tanks out of harm's way. Look at those rounds. That's what I like to see. Of course, at the same time, we do need to try to get our tanks across here. Let's see if they're managing okay. Those damn trenches. So I like that our boys are getting in nicely to the Ceasefire area here. It doesn't look like they're having much trouble, and it doesn't look like the enemy, from what I can see, has any significant armor. I'm sure they do have armor in this location. I think they're just keeping it farther back. But if our tanks can just provide support here, then so be it. I mean, that's something. We're hitting those locations pretty damn hard. Let me just take a look, see if we can see any casualties. Oh yeah. Definite casualties on the enemy machine gun. We're hitting it again. Yeah, I think we're definitely hurting the Germans here. Of course, taking areas, though, taking actual locations would feel a lot better than just firing away at the enemy. So again, I am still trying to push with these tanks. Come on, boys. Let's try and get across. And look at this. It looks like our Panzer actually managed to get forward, being led by Hawkins here. I think that's hilarious that we have a Panzer III captured by our Irish regiment, our Irish cavalry regiment, to take on the Germans. Keep firing. Come on now. Light them up. I don't like those grenades. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Telling them to reverse. I hope he will. He is opening up the machine gun. There's a lot of enemies here. Come on now. They are just getting a ton of throws on this Panzer III. Must be weird throwing grenades at a tank that your country actually owns, but it is what it is. Alright, some units will not execute order. That's understandable. I think, unfortunately, a lot of these now have been affected by these mines. Not everybody, but some of them just can't get out of this damn location. Come on now. Oh yeah, he's definitely targeting the area. I like that. I want him to actually target that vehicle. It looks like an SDKFC in the distance. So I'm going to switch his target here. As you can see, it looks like the secondary machine gun has already taken care of most of the enemy trench soldiers and trench soldiers, most of the guys in this trench. So let's just focus for now over here, and I really want to try to hit that SDKFC. We still have not managed to get across with these tanks. It really is a tough damn job. There's really just no place to cross, and I think the tankers know that. They don't want to risk falling into the water here. So it's all up to the infantry at this point. And, of course, the approaching tanks that have been hit very, very, very hard by the enemy's mines. So let's go ahead. We're just going to set up fire lanes and let our boys have at it. Alright, at least we have some incoming fire from those tanks that can make it over. But the enemy trench line here is a strong one. It really is. Let's keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward with the Panzer III and any other tanks that can make it up here. Because I want to start wiping out those units. And actually over here, with Franklin's group, we might be somewhat luckier, although I think we are still in a minefield. It's lucky we didn't lose any tanks and that we just got the treads damaged. Hopefully that's something we can fix. Damn it. They've still got a lot of grenades here. There's no doubt about that. Damn. Yeah, this guy is completely stuck because of the rocks here. So again, we'll just try and target the enemy from a distance. Those officers, boys. Get those officers. Nice. Direct hit. Well, not really direct hit, but it hit very close to the trench here. You can see why they're fighting so desperately. There are so many officers in this location. They know if we reach these trenches, guys, we're wiping out a bunch of NCOs, junior officers, etc. It's not going to be good for the Africa Corps here in this sector. So look at that. They might be going for a counterattack. It looks like they're kind of trying to leave the trench. I think just because of the continuous fire. Let's see how that tank's coming along. Very nice. She's moving forward, using the enemy's own weapons against him. I love it. Looks like a little mortar group there. We might as well take it out. And I think our tank is already kind of zeroing in on it. Ooh, pretty close. Looks like he's focusing on the trench. I'm fine with that. And the SDKFC is indeed destroyed. That thing is gone. What might happen over time here is we might just send in our infantry to just completely overrun the area. But I wouldn't risk them unless I knew this area was completely bombarded, as much as it could be, of course. Then and only then would I consider moving in. Some of the boys moving in already are taking some very heavy losses. So with Perkins' men, let's just make sure that they've got a nice defensive position. I'm going to put them over here. They'll get into the brush, into the shell holes as well. And hopefully they can offer some pretty good resistance here. Same with these gents. Keep it up. Our spotters are the unsung heroes of this battle because they're calling in a ton of artillery here. You can also see that minefield ends right there, so if they do manage to actually fix these tanks, they could end up bringing them onto the battlefield. Whether or not they're going to manage to, I don't know. We do still have some tanks approaching. Looks like just a standard Valentine here. And look at that. Look at the enemy position. We are just bombarding it so damn consistently with artillery. We can see the damn bombs just gliding off the enemy. I love it. But they are quite dug in, so just to actually make it through is not necessarily an easy task. Keep an eye on this location for now, just to kind of see how our men are dealing with these trenches. but it'll give you guys an idea of what they're dealing with overall. And it does look like the enemy wants a ceasefire. I'm not about to accept that. Our boys want vengeance. We're going to have to fix those damn tanks, and that's going to take away from our drinking time. That's unacceptable. Oh yeah, there we go. It's beginning, and I think at this point we could just try to overrun the enemy. In fact, that call for a ceasefire is making me really think they're quite weak here. With all of that supporting tank fire, I wonder if we could just go ahead and attempt to charge, period. I'll give it a few more minutes, just kind of, you know, loosen up the enemy. But at some point, I am going to take the rest of these boys and go for a charge. Give them the glory they deserve. Wow, nice shot, boys. Nice. I just love the spotters here, man. The spotters are really our ticket to victory in this battle. They are calling in all of that useful artillery on enemy positions. Look at that. Damn! Right on top of them. Look, one of them on fire. That's beautiful. Let him burn. You bet I added that to the intro. Are you guys crazy? Now the tanks are arriving, and really the carnage is just beginning. We've already got a pretty damn good start, but I think with the enemy's own Panzer III, we might be able to take out a bunch of these officers. That's my goal right now, is just try and waste the officer class, or at the very least get them to surrender. Just see a tremendous amount of enemies here. See where that other tank is. She's coming along. Very nice, very nice. In fact, we can go ahead and start picking targets. Franklin's group, I think, is completely stuck. What about these boys and girls? Yeah. That's not going to be fixed for a minute. Guys are going to be here quite a while. Let's see, what about the tanks across the river here? They're doing quite well, but you can just see the defenses the enemy put up in an effort to keep us out of this location. It's quite amazing, it really is. I'm actually really impressed with just the defenses they put up. Make sure all of these tanks are focused on one joint task, and that is throwing fire across the river. Take a look at our boys over here in this location. The enemy is actually targeting us with artillery. Look at that. So despite us getting quite close and honestly doing very well here, calling in our coordinates, the enemy has decided to make us their main target, specifically this location. I still want to charge, though, I really do. But seeing this arty come in and these tank shells come in so effectively, I'm guessing we just kind of have to wait a bit and let things develop. There are so many Germans on this battlefield. Also, we haven't technically taken the Ciba Est location yet. Huh. Let's take a look here at the map. So the bunker and Ciba Est have kind of been ignored. We can change that. Kind of already there, but now that the Valentine has arrived to throw down some serious damage. Oh no, wait a minute, it's a Panzer IV. Guys, the only two tanks that have survived this are our two German tanks that we have essentially taken from the Germans. This is repurposed German tanks. Just beautiful. I love that the Irish are the ones doing this too. Just an extra boost. Our Valentines, etc., they're all immobilized. We do have one Valentine waiting here. But I think it's the one across the river. Yeah, I'm not accepting the ceasefire, not while we have this opportunity to just deliver consistent fire downwind towards the enemy locations. No way. The enemy's definitely panicking, and I'm hoping what happens is that they're forced towards our infantry. I think that's actually what is happening. This allows us to take some shots and take them down pretty damn quickly. Look at that. Look at that. Immediately a shot right through the guy's damn spine. And more to follow. Those machine guns are working overtime, boys. The Irish are putting in work, for sure. Let's push. And as you can see, they're all out in the open. They are no longer in the trenches. If this is not an opportunity, I don't know what is. So I'm almost thinking we should just take our boys. This is the chance for glory. Let's do it. All out assault. Go, boys. I just turned Australian. I'm not sure why. Disregard that. A lot of our men have already been hit by enemy artillery and just out here fighting the enemy. It looks like there's also plenty of mines still to be found. So come on, guys. We need you to work overtime on this one. Spreading out nicely, and we've got the back of the column moving up here. We see some guys actually firing from these locations too, so it's, again, it is a nice push. It seems a lot smaller on the map than it actually is, since this kind of represents the commanders approaching. With these tanks arriving too, come on. We should be able to get just a nice bevy of enemy casualties. We've got machine gun rounds flying over them as they're targeting our troops. Just look at this. So as they shoot at our troops, we've got MG rounds, look at that, firing directly at them. We've got to keep this up. It is a shame not all of our tanks made it here, but so far I think this is looking quite good. And in fact, we have some tanks that could still get into the fight. A bunch of Panzer IVs, actually. Eyes on target. Enemy officer directly in front of us. Come on. Surrender. Stubborn one. Why can't I select a target? Oh, here we go. Alright. Got to say. Alright, our boys are approaching their lines. Look at this, guys. Look at this. I just saw an enemy get hit over there. We could see some enemies surrendering soon. I certainly hope so. Because at this point, we are reaching their lines directly. Look at this. The enemy officers also seem to be being very careful. And, of course, the machine gun fire continues. I'm trying to hit these guys with the flags above them. Those are the enemy officers. And the more of those we take out, well, the better this battle is going to be for us, period. The better the outcome of this battle is going to be for us, I should say. Look at that beautiful shot. Absolutely beautiful. He's trying to hit the officer here. And if they don't have, you know, that typical sort of German, I don't even know what to call it, I guess like sort of battle cap, then they're just junior officers. They're still worth quite a lot to us. They really are. Again, also a shame we can't move these tanks across the river. It's that natural barrier sort of protecting the enemy here. There's just not much we can do about it. But I am keeping the fight going on. You know, as long as we can continue gaining casualties, I don't really see the point of accepting that ceasefire. Just doesn't make sense. Now, if we lose these frontal tanks, or if we can't move any farther with them, yeah, I would consider a ceasefire. Nice shooting. Going to kind of take a look from this particular angle for a little bit to see if we're hitting any additional enemy units, but so far it's looking good. It really is. Something burning out there. It's not a vehicle, but it could just be our continuous firepower. Also see off in the distance there in the bush a lot of artillery rounds spiking up. There's another one. There's another one. So again, our boys seem to be targeting that location. The spotters can't always get a perfect spot, so this is kind of as good as they're doing right now, and that's just fine. If this is where the mortars or the artillery, whatever is being dropped over here wants to hit, I have no issue as long as we are hitting Germans. Let's take a look at how that advance is going. Man, talk about one of the most rugged, vicious advances we've done thus far in the game. Riley's boys, of course, this huge infantry squad, they are getting to this central group of the enemy where our tanks are, sort of meeting up with our tanks, but they have lost so many men along the way. But look at how many Germans we have taken out. Just amazing. That's one of Riley's boys there. They've done so much to capture this area, and look at this. We even have captives. We've got some prisoners. Just unbelievable, really, guys. Some additional prisoners as well. Yep. It's going to take them a while to actually throw down their arms, but I think this is a successful attack. Despite the fact it's definitely a Pyrrhic victory, because we have lost so many good men. Let's hope that the medics can save most of them. You can see Rogers here, though. He has managed to move into the bush and has managed to move the enemy out of it. And I think the amount of casualties on the enemy side is going to be pretty alarming. Although it can also be alarming here. That's right, get that smoke up. You can see still plenty of enemy infantry there, but we wiped out most of them, I think. But as you can see, we keep getting captives. Look at that, guys. Just an amazing work by our Irish troops. Absolutely amazing. You know, it could have been completely left up to the tanks, but since they only arrived really late in the battle, and certainly not in their full array, you know, their full force, this was amazing. Like, really good job by the guys. I think now I'm okay with accepting the ceasefire. Now I'll take it, especially since a lot of these guys could get hurt, including their commanding officers. I'm going to go ahead and hit that ceasefire button. The enemy's not going to surrender because we would have to hit the strong point. Although I do want to try to take the Ksiba area. I'm not sure why we didn't take it. Maybe just the lack of infantry. It might wind up as a defeat just because we didn't take this Ksiba area. We'll have to see. But I'm going to save the rest of the men in the field. They've done an exceptional attack. Look at that. We actually have a wounded German right there. So I will accept the ceasefire. Well, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this fight. Of course, we tried to fight with a regiment that's not often seen in any World War II setting, and that, of course, is the Irish Division. So let me know if you want to see more of this in the future, if you want to see more of this game in the future, and, of course, hit that like, comment, and subscribe. All three of those things are so important to the future success of this channel. So if you care about that, and I hope you do, please do that. Here we go. It is going to be a minor defeat. That's acceptable. But look at that. Killed. 2 killed on our side. 8 on the enemy side. It's the heavily wounded that's important. 86 enemies heavily wounded. And it looks like 18 enemy prisoners. But we also had 25 prisoners. So potentially in that charge, some of our men did surrender to the enemy. Nonetheless, a really fun fight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, folks.